Welcome back to the show. We got a great one lined up for you. XRP enters the commodity derivatives market and global adoption. By the way, what does Abu Dhabi, Japan, Korea, USE, and the EU all have in common? Somebody roll that beautiful intro so we can find out. I hope everybody who celebrates Christmas had a wonderful holiday with family and friends. And if you don't, I hope you just had a wonderful day. Here we go. $3.07 trillion, up 1% on the total crypto market in the last 24. Bitcoin now 88,600 plus, Ethereum 2,900 plus, XRP's $1.87. Now we're up 0.3 on the 24 and we're flat on the 7-day. Let's look at the range of price here, ranging between 183 and 188. So we're at the top side of that range. We'll keep an eye on as we move forward. Look, I want to take a second here because we all work so hard for our portfolios and gathering our assets that we want to have in our portfolio. The last thing you ever want to think about is, what if I get hacked? Well, you don't have to think about that. If you get to Caleb and Brown, you guys know, first of all, Caleb and Brown's the same way. Never put your assets all in one place. That's just a very safe, secure measure. They recommend that too. And their service, their human customer service is absolutely bar none. Let me tell you something. When I had to move assets to this platform, I set up my account, reached out, set up an appointment with my prime broker. And you know, they stayed on the phone with me to make sure my assets were moved correctly and that they showed up and verified the assets for me. You ever had that experience before? The answer is no, unless you're at Caleb and Brown. The reality here is that you get free institutional custody. You do not make a payment for anything on that platform unless you buy, sell, or swap. So literally, while you're going to bed and you're scared to death wondering if you got your assets in the right place, unless it's here, you don't. Because the truth is where you see us talk about where we put our assets here and a couple other places, you know for certain that these places are places that are trusted. These places have trusted solutions. There's no question about it. Do not mess around. Peace of mind is absolutely mission critical for me at my house. And I know it is for most of you out there too, if not all of you. So the reality here is that if you just simply go to xrpwealth589.com, open your account, you're about to find out exactly what it feels like to be treated like a real customer with 24-hour customer service, free institutional grade custody, and multiple layers of security. And you can even add special restrictions on top of that to your account. So don't mess around. Get the peace of mind you deserve. Open your account at xrpwealth589.com or click the link underneath the video. Taking a look very quickly here, let's refresh it. Markets are going to open back up today, and this is where the numbers are. 1.4 billion plus in cash for all the 7 ETFs that are out in the market today with XRP. And then 746 million plus XRP locked up. We are quickly moving towards $1 billion of XRP locked up, or billion XRP locked up. We are already over $1 billion in dollar form. So here you see 0.74 of total supply. And I love this 52 net. We're 35 days in, I believe it is. So plus 35.65 million. And we're certainly just over a month at this point. Because I think it was about a month ago, maybe a little over a month ago now. Nonetheless, this is very new and it is off to the races. And we've had nothing but net flow inflows. So super exciting for these products. Now, listen to this. Abu Dhabi fund tripled its Bitcoin bet. Take a quick listen here.
We know in terms of their holdings and when they added to this position.
Yeah, so you can see that they've more than tripled their position right in the weeks and months up to the sell-off. So, you know, it hit a record high in October, and we can see that they've tripled their position during the third quarter. They disclosed a position at the end of September that was worth around $520 million. And we can see that this is really going to be a part of their portfolio going forward. They're saying that they want to diversify it, and they really see it as the digital equivalent of gold.
And by the way, I should correct myself. I meant to say $500 million, not $500 billion. That would be tremendous. But Ben, getting back to you in London, when it comes to the Abu Dhabi Investment Council, just give us a sense of how this holding of Bitcoin fits in with their overall portfolio. What is their investment strategy?
Yeah, sure. So they're an investment unit of Mubadala. They're kind of run separately, but this really seems to be part of the overall strategy by Abu Dhabi and the United Arab Emirates more generally to become a hub for crypto, as well as just to really become a player in the markets.
It's going to be a hub for crypto. I just wanted him to get to that part as well. So listen, that's an enormous position of Bitcoin scooped up here in the dip, right? Then the other part is I want to remind everybody, remember Zan Bank? And we've talked about this a long time ago. I can't even believe I remember it. As the UAE's first digital bank, Zan Bank is integrating Ripple's infrastructure and supported faster payments, is developing AED-backed stablecoin for seamless digital notes. Now, I remember that. Now, this one I didn't remember was Mamo. This fintech platform also uses Ripple payments to streamline global, combining fiat stablecoins and crypto into one system. And that's according to Australia Binance there. So the connections are going pretty wide here. And then these partnerships basically signal Ripple's expansion into the Middle East with a focus on the UAE as a major digital asset hub. Just like that gentleman announced right there. Long way around the mountain. I just wanted to show you to get more specific on details of Zan Bank's direct operations in Abu Dhabi versus Dubai. You can go further into that, but nonetheless, the connections are there, and they're going to continue through this video. Watch this. Now we see crypto firms in Lithuania must be MiCA licensed to operate in 2026, looking for that blanket compliance, right? So there's no gaps all around the world, because then we see this. Katina, Friday, December 26, 2025, the Federal Reserve withdrew a 2023 policy, and they just did this, that restricted state member banks from engaging in certain crypto activities. This is signaling a shift towards a more flexible approach to digital assets. Now you can see this includes everything. This was just lifted, just withdrawn, right? This is the US. Remember Bitnomial, November? Bitnomial becoming the first US regulated exchange by the CFTC to accept stable coins as margin call. RLUSD, XRP included in that. This is remarkable. There's the USA. And the truth is that we're talking about network or protocol tokens here. Take a quick listen.
Something that you use or you consume, that's a commodity. And I love that you brought up energy, because in a lot of ways, it's very similar to that. I mean, you have to use ETH as the gas to power the Ethereum network, right? And it's the same thing, just like you use gas to power your car or a factory.
XRP is used as gas on the XRP ledger, and we're now currently over 50 chains being incorporated from Bridgers and the Solana connection through Hex Trust. I mean, there's just so many things going on right now, the proliferation of tying these protocols together, right? Now, an expert says XRP is now being absorbed into the regulated derivative stack. This is absolutely spot on. As an analyst here says, analyst commentator Richard highlighted why the year-end timing is important that XRP is being absorbed into the regulated derivative stack. Institutions often finalize ethics policies, risk frameworks, and governance structures before closing the year. The timing allows firms to reset accounts and prepare for the growth in the new year. He also called attention to repeating filing amendments, including the multiple 485B updates. This guy, commentator Richard, believes these filings indicate that approvals already exist. So to him, sponsors now control the timing and release products in stages, moving from lower leverage to higher leverage. Conclusively, the market pundit suggested that these indicators show XRP becoming part of the regulated derivative system. XRP is being absorbed into the regulated derivative stack, he said. I think this is absolutely spot on. Notably, XRP has also made a push into the derivatives market through the launch of regulated CME futures products. In October, the reports confirmed that CME XRP futures products surpassed $26 billion in notional volume. Interestingly, XRP became the fastest to reach $1 billion in open interest on the CME. Then we have the Japanese analyst says XRP holders should pay close attention to this update from Japan. And it's this. Says right here in a tweet that Japan and South Korea are quietly discussing joint blockchain projects. Although these talks aren't public yet, Kanzaki says that they could be important. Accordingly, XRP holders should watch the updates, what could be affected through Ripple's role in Asia. And it goes on here to talk about Japan prepares regulatory clarity for Ripple. It says here that they are preparing this clarity for Ripple Prime and Ripple Custody. These rules would let both services operate fully under Japan's digital asset framework. Clear regulations could help Ripple expand adoption among banks, asset managers, and enterprises in Japan. Now, Ripple's XRP Ledger in Japan and Korea fund lays groundwork. If you go through this, you find the focused on 4 areas here through this. In mid-24, Ripple committed a large portion of its 1 billion XRP pledge to the XRP Ledger Japan Korea Fund. That's how important this region is. Expanding partnerships with Japanese Korean companies integrate XRPL into real-world operations, supporting promising XRP Ledger-based products across business, finance, technical development, investing in early-stage startups, building new applications on the Ledger, and funding educational programs, hackathons, and local blockchains. For all this, for the proliferation of growing these products on the Ledger and getting the world on the new digital on-chain economy. That's what we're seeing here, right? Now, it says here why we should be paying close attention very quickly. It says here, to put together private government talks, Japan advancing regulations, Ripple's XRP investment fund, and growing validator participation all signal deeper institutional use of the XRP ledger in Asia. And this is interesting when I see this thing. So he says here, this convergence is why he believes XRP holders should pay close attention to the region. And in other words, Japan and South Korea move forward with joint blockchain projects. Ripple's early involvement could be key in shaping the next wave adoption in that region when you get everybody working together. And speaking about working together, remember when Christine Lagarde, the president of the European Central Bank, figurehead here, says that the digital euro will be ready by 2029.
In the form of digital euro as well, so that you can circulate banknotes and click cash with the digital euro. More work is going to be done in the next few months, and if we receive the approval by the European Parliament in the course of 26, we'll be able to pilot the digital euro as of 27. And if the pilot is conclusive and positive, it will be a formal rollout in the whole of Europe in 2029.
Well, there you have it. 2029 is too late. And how do we know that? Well, take a listen to this.
We're getting to the close of the year, and for many of us, it's a celebration moment. So to all of you who are celebrating, Merry Christmas. To those who are not celebrating, I hope you are having a lovely time. It's also a time to look back and see how much has been done. And frankly, been a lot of work. One thing that the European Central Bank is proud of is to have achieved our target of 2% medium term. Inflation is down to where we wanted it to be. We've also looked at our strategy going forward, and we took stock of the work done by all the teams to see from a strategy point of view how we're going to go forward and whether our strategy is fit for purpose and whether the ECB is fit for the times we're going through. Difficult times they are. The 2 other big projects that we have worked on and will continue to work on in 26 are number 1, the digital euro. We have completed the cycle of the preparation. The Governing Council has given its go-ahead to move to the next cycle, and we're now waiting for the European Parliament to come up with final legislation that will the go-ahead for the pilot phase and then the launch. The other project, which is not unrelated, more traditional, but still very efficient and needed, is the banknote. We are revamping our banknotes. Process is well underway, and we will have new design, new faces possibly, and we look forward to that as well. So to all of you, you should know that the European Central Bank is standing strong, pleased that it has reached its price stability target, and determined to make sure that this remains the case. And
well, there you have it right there. But nonetheless, let's take a look at this. The latest. This is on December 18th. The European Central Bank has completed its preparatory work on the digital euro. The digital euro is expected to launch in the second half of 2026. What happened to 2029? Oh, that's right. Asia is adopting blockchain. That's right. The USA is adopting blockchain. XRP is being absorbed into the regulatory derivative stack because we're being monitored and governed by the CFTC as a utility protocol token. That's exactly what's happening here. And guess what? The European Union and the European Central Bank know it. And they're moving their timeline up from all of these different places where we get approval in 2029, right? Now, they're going to be doing it the second half of 2026, or the European Union and their little dollar is going to be in a whole world of trouble. Guess what? That goes for the rest of the countries of the world too. This is the geopolitical pressure that I have talked about for years on this channel, whether it is BRICS, whether it is the Chinese yuan, or what have you. All of these things are absolutely critical to understanding that we do not have the time to play around in the United States of America. We need to see the actual passage of the market infrastructure bill. Just like we know that there's a first step here. Listen to what Ashish Burla says here. Digital asset treasuries, corporate level, institutional level, and
assets in other cryptocurrencies, like even for central banks,
even for central banks. Listen here.
Future, you'll see central banks and others also want to hold digital asset.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's Ashish Burla, former RippleNet GM, and now the head of Evernorth, the world's largest XRP institutional treasury. Yeah, that's what he's saying. And when you think about where we are right now, spot XRP ETFs approved, ISO 20022 Big Bang cutover, check. Ripple Bank Charter approved, check. This is amazing what we can check off this list. Ripple gets Fed skinny master account, still waiting on it. U.S. government interest rate cuts, got them, and they're still coming. U.S. government shutdown, it's over. Clarity Act, still waiting on it. 2 things out of 7 we're waiting on right now. Everything else we've gotten. That's where we are. That's how electric the last half of 25 has been. And then to finish with this, White House cryptos are on the Clarity Act. Read the last sentence. We had a great call today with Chairman Tim Scott, Senator Tim Scott, and John Boozman, who confirmed that the markup for Clarity is coming in January. Thanks to their leadership, as well as Representative Fred Hill and Congressman GT in the House, we are closer than ever to passing the landmark crypto market structure legislation that President Trump has called for. We look forward to finishing the job in January. That's where we are. And this, I believe, is fitting.
With that, I'm going to end with Ripple has been ready for this moment. The XRP community has been ready for this moment. I'm thrilled you are on this journey with us. It is definitely happening. Thank you very much.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. From the one and only, shout out to Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple, and shout out to everybody at Ripple, and shout out to each and every one of you that follow this channel as we close out the year. You know, I try to say it often, but I'm going to say it again. Gratitude. Grateful. I do not take it for granted that you let me into your life every day. And for that, I am super grateful. And I also tell you, no matter how much you trust me and what I say, vet every single thing that I say. Take it and put it to work somewhere else. Make sure that I prove out. You don't have to agree with me on every single thing, because that's how we get the best out of each other. I wish everybody a happy holiday season. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas if you celebrate with your family and friends. And I will catch all of you on the next one. Just one video today. We'll be back on two videos a day once we get to next week. I wish everybody a wonderful, happy holiday season. I'll catch all of you on the next one.